Hello, EDCON 2020. Thank you for joining me for this talk, What's Up with OMG Network? I'm Victoria Daet, leading PR for OMG Network, and I'm very excited to be here with you guys today. Before we jump into things, I wanted to give a little more background about me. I've spent the past 4 years in the tech scene growing communities across Asia. I was previously Slush Tokyo's Chief Marketing Officer and Head of Startup Operations, which introduced me to the crypto blockchain world as we know it, and led me to joining OMG Network a year ago. For those of you who are not familiar with or not really caught up with what we've been up to at OMG Network, what exactly is OMG Network? The OMG Network is the quickest and most affordable way to transfer ETH and ERC20 tokens globally and without restrictions. As a value transfer layer that scales Ethereum, our mission is to enable open financial services that facilitate fast, cheap, and secure transactions. But not only that, but we're also green as we cut down electricity consumption per transaction. We're open, which means you're free to build on our network through our ODP or OMG developer portal, and trustless, all thanks to the Plasma protocol. 2020 has been a pretty big year for us, to say the least. The past 6 months alone have been filled with a lot of announcements, a lot of launches, a lot of really cool projects that are currently out there right now. But to catch you up, what exactly has OMG Network been up to lately? In June, we rebranded from Amissigo to OMG Network, and along with it, we announced the launch of OMG Network V1 Mainnet Beta. But what does this mean exactly? It basically means that we've successfully scaled Ethereum and reduced transaction costs as well. We're able to achieve this through the more viable Plasma framework, which is our very own flavor or type of Plasma. It scales transactions on a child chain, it's fully trustless and non-custodial, it relies on decentralized security, which means root chain, and a community of watchers that validate the system. If you're learning about this for the first time here right now, it's pretty simple really. Through this framework, we're able to bundle up transactions in blocks and send them in batches to the Ethereum network for confirmation. This compression allows us to achieve high throughput of thousands of transactions per second at 1/3 the transaction cost while having Ethereum level security. As a layer 2 solution, we're not only building with a trifecta of security, scalability, and decentralization in mind, but in the process, we're providing solutions on main issues in the community, such as fees, congestion, and the like, that would help the ecosystem as a whole. It's no secret that ETH congestion and fees have been hitting all-time highs lately. But through the OMG network, we can help alleviate this issue. In June, we announced that Bitfinex integrates Tether USDT to OMG network. USDT is the longest running, most widely used, and largest stablecoin by market cap. Tether transactions make up close to 24% of the total Ethereum network usage, while stablecoin-led peer-to-peer transfers as a whole make up 60%. This makes them the largest consumer of gas on the Ethereum network. With congestion hitting highs of 90%, a small increase can clog up the network and limit usage, which means gas prices increase, demand exceeds network capacity, user funds get stuck there for a while. You guys know the drill. But adoption of layer 2 solutions will help solve this issue. For example, OMG Network is designed to increase efficiency and affordability for ETH and ERC20 tokens. This will help alleviate this congestion issue on the network. And that basically means better trading experience, affordable rates, thousands of transactions per second, while having Ethereum level security. And as Tether and Bitfinex leads this effort into unburdening the ecosystem as a whole, the whole Ethereum community benefits from it as well. But I know the big question that's probably running through your minds right now, and we've seen it, you guys have been asking a lot online, on our Twitter, everywhere really. When is this happening, right? So do not fret, we're getting there. We're currently on the final stages of the integration. So please, for our community, stay rock, stay patient. It's gonna be out there soon. So now let's jump into July, where our team went heads down to focus on building something for the Great Reddit Scaling Bake-Off. At the end of June, Reddit announced that they will be hosting a bake-off, which is an open invitation competition calling all Ethereum scaling projects to show the community a scaling solution that can be used to bring community points to mainnet. So obviously this was something that really excited us, and our team did what it does best, which was to go heads down and build. At the end of July, we did a surprise submission of the community points engine powered by OMG Network, which the team built in less than 30 days. The Community Points Engine, or CPE as we call it, is a Chrome extension that works on the OMG Network subreddit and allows users to transfer community points for free. I'll be showing you guys our pitch video of the product right now.
Introducing the Community Points Engine powered by OMG, the easiest, fastest, and most secure way to send and receive community points on Reddit. Reddit user, send and receive community points right from your browser. Check your balance in near real time, all while browsing the subreddit. Moderator, immediately mint and distribute points to anybody on the subreddit. Burn points and handle all admin actions with a user-friendly dashboard. Reddit team member, powered by OMG Network, the Community Points Engine is feeless and can withstand the traffic threshold that Reddit requires, using our more viable plasma technology. This is the video demonstration of how Community Points Engine works on Reddit. First, you need to make sure you are on the correct community. In our case, it is the OMG Network subreddit. Then you simply click on the browser extension. On this application, you can see your current Reddit account with the associated point balance for the current subreddit. You can make a transaction, view transaction history, as well as purchase items from the store. Let's make a transaction. First, you input the amount of points that you want to send. Select the username of the recipient, and then click on transfer. This will open a MetaMask pop-up that prompts you to sign the transaction. Once you click on sign, simply wait a few seconds and then the transaction will be included. The content of the transaction is also shown on a block explorer. And that's it. No need to worry about paying gas or deal with crypto addresses. A clean, simple user experience.
So yeah, that's the CPE in a nutshell. When the team was building it, we only had one goal in mind, which was to create an easy-to-use product that allows for fee-less community points transfers. And although it's a POC, we wanted to come out with a production-ready software that users can actually use right now. And that basically brings us to here and now. You're all caught up, and now you know what's up with OMG Network. With our rebrand, our mainnet launch, our upcoming integration with Bitfinex, our submission to the Reddit scaling bake-off, and so on, it's safe to say that we've got a lot of really exciting things coming up for the rest of the year as well. We're all geared up and working hard behind the scenes as we focus on real-world applications. But with big goals comes a kick-ass team behind it, so now it's your turn. We currently have a number of openings from technical product manager to senior blockchain engineer. If you're a fit and interested in building and growing with us, don't hesitate to apply. It would be great to work together with you in the future. Just head on to omg-network.breezy.hr. To keep updated and find out more about us, you can check out our website at OMG Network. If you're keen on checking out what we're working on, you may check our GitHub, and feel free to reach us at OMG Network HQ at almost everything. And feel free to connect with me on any of my socials and as well as LinkedIn. Always happy to connect. Thank you so much for joining me on this session, and hope to see you guys on the next EDCON.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian, and I work with the Ethereum Foundation on zero-knowledge cryptography research and development. Besides that, I also work on Dark Forest, which is a zero-knowledge, real-time strategy game built with ZK snarks on Ethereum. In this talk, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think ZK snarks might be potentially very interesting for blockchain gaming and gaming on decentralized systems, and also what I think some of the implications might be of ZK snarks for decentralized systems beyond the applications we usually think about in privacy and rollup. So first of all, to motivate all of this, I want to talk a little bit about a concept from game theory known as complete versus incomplete information game. For those of you who aren't familiar, games can generally be divided up into two types: complete information games and incomplete or hidden information games. Complete information games are games like checkers or chess. In these games, all players basically know the full state of the world. So like in chess, I know where all of your pieces are and you know where all of my pieces are, and there aren't really like any secrets on the board. Whereas in poker, an incomplete information game, there's the notion of private state. So in these kinds of games, some information might only be selectively known to certain players and hidden from others. Like in poker, I know my hand, but I don't know yours. Real-time strategy games are an example of very popular hidden information games. These are games like StarCraft, where hidden information is basically encapsulated in this mechanic of a fog of war. A fog of war is basically a fancy way of saying that, in these games, you might not know exactly where your opponent is at all times or what they're doing. So before I've scouted out my opponent's base or explored the part of the map that they actually are based at, I can't tell what actions are they doing, how are they developing, how are they approaching this game. It turns out that incomplete information adds a whole new layer of complexity to a lot of really interesting multiplayer games. So for example, a lot of the biggest persistent, massively multiplayer online games like EVE Online or World of Warcraft or Minecraft, these are all incomplete information games. And for good reason too. Incomplete information games allow players an opportunity to explore a much richer strategy space with fewer constraints. For example, players can engage in things like deception or like conditional coordination. You can see very complex emergent behaviors coming out of the player base, or these like very complex social dynamics that evolve by virtue of the fact that I don't necessarily know everything about the game, you don't necessarily know anything either, and information is a first-class asset for us. Unfortunately, on decentralized systems, sort of by just, the design principles that we bake into them, most blockchain games and settings are complete information settings. The reason for this is pretty straightforward. A blockchain or a decentralized system broadly is often a system whose data layer is designed to be completely open and transparent. In other words, I can always inspect the totality of the EVM state and look for any data that anybody has ever stored in it. This means that while it's possible to make games like CryptoKitties, where everybody knows who owns what kitty and what all the properties of each kitty are, etc., it's much harder to have the notion of private state inside of a blockchain game, simply because you can't have private state on a blockchain almost by definition. Interestingly, though, new advancements in applied zero-knowledge proof technology in the last year or so have allowed us to sort of hack in the concept of hidden information into the blockchain in more generalized settings. So let's talk a little bit about how we can do that. So the idea here is that we would like to distinguish between the information that a player knows, like a single player, and the information that they have maybe local to their client or their machine or their brain, and the information that's known and publicly inspectable and verifiable to the entire network of participants. So what we're going to do here is, let's say that this player on the left has a private state S1 that they basically want to be keeping private, but that they want to commit up to the chain. What they're going to do is they're going to submit a commitment to this private state S1, which means, like a hash function evaluated on S1, and they're going to submit that commitment C1 up to the network. Alongside of it, they're also going to submit a zero-knowledge proof that hash, that commitment C1, does indeed correspond to a validly formed private state that is, formed in accordance with the rules of the game. So P1 is basically going to say, all right, S1 is a valid state. I didn't cheat or allocate myself a bunch of extra resources or anything like that. Now, the really interesting thing happens when a player wants to make a state transition in zero knowledge. So suppose that player 1 wants to transfer from private state S1 to private state S2. So maybe this is the equivalent of making a move. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to upload a commitment C2 of their new private state S2, so like the hash of S2, And this time, they're going to attach a zero-knowledge proof that the state transition from S1 to S2 was valid. So this zero-knowledge proof is basically saying something like, all right, I moved my knight from secret location A to secret location B. I'm not going to tell you where A or B are, but this proof does prove that this is in an L shape. I didn't like move the knight like halfway across the galaxy or something like that. So again, I'm able to basically commit to the fact and prove to the rest of the network that all of my actions that I've taken are in fact in accordance with the rules without verifying anything about the underlying private state that was actually operated on. So with this fairly straightforward concept, we're able to build already a fairly complex game like Dark Forest. And here's just a screenshot from the UI. We actually have a whitelisted sort of first beta version out right now at zkga.me if you want to check it out. And today what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit more also about the construction of this game and exactly how we use that ZK hidden information technique to make this game work. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the game construction. So for a little bit of context, Dark Forest is basically this space conquest game where players initialize on some home planet, and their goal is to sort of build and develop out this empire of steadily more valuable and powerful planets. So like you can see over here, there's this procedurally generated and infinite terrain, and players are gradually sort of colonizing more and more regions of space. The key dynamic in Dark Forest is that there is a cryptographically enforced fog of war, which means that when you initialize into the game and when you inspect the public blockchain state, this doesn't tell you any information about where other players are. All this information proves is that all players have acted consistently in accordance with the rules of the game. So to start off with, everybody lives on this large, infinite, two-dimensional grid. And the way that we sort of enforce this cryptographic fog of war is by the following construction. For any coordinate pair x, y in the game, we're going to identify the hash of x, y as that location's quote-unquote public address. Conversely, we're going to say that the coordinates themselves are the location's private address, and these are never uploaded to the blockchain. Another thing that we do is that in order to give the game a little bit of texture, we specify that only a certain number of locations actually correspond to, say, habitable planets. So right now it's about, if the coordinates of a location hash to under some difficulty threshold, then we call that a habitable planet. Everything else is empty space. Player-controlled units are going to live on locations and planets that players own, and you're going to be able to basically move these units between planets that you own in order to attack other planets or colonize other planets. And that's really like pretty much all there is to the game. So let's talk a little bit about what state is being kept public and what is being kept private and hidden by the snarks. The on-chain state that's stored in the Dark Forest core contract simply is a mapping of essentially player addresses to the hashes of planets that they own. So you're basically going to be able to inspect the core contract and you're going to see a list of all of these hashes alongside which players own them and what units are situated on them. The private state that each player keeps on their own machine in their browser's local storage is going to be the private addresses x, y of all the planets that they own. So this is like hashed pre-images of their planet IDs, and any information that they learned from computation. So what does this last part mean, information learned from computation? Well, let's say that I initialize in the world at some home planet located at, say, 5, 20. What I do is I hash the coordinates 5, 20, and I upload that hash up to the blockchain. You might look at 5, 20, you might look at the hash of 5, 20, and it basically just looks like some string of bytes to you. And because hash functions are hard to invert, there's no way for you to actually uncover my location from that. However, because I submit a zero-knowledge proof along with that hash, you do know that it corresponds to some valid coordinate pair. Now, on the other end, maybe you initialize at 3, 8, you hash 3, 8, and you upload that up to the blockchain. So from my perspective, I see the hash of 3, 8, and I have no idea where you are because, again, hashes are hard to invert, but I know that you are playing honestly because you've submitted a zero-knowledge proof. So how do we actually go about finding each other? Well, the best thing that I can do to try to figure out if there's any players or points of interest close to my planet at 5, 20 is I can basically just start brute force hashing. So I'm going to hash 5, 21, 5, 22, 6, 20, 4, 19, etc., etc. And eventually I might get around to hashing 3, 8. At this point, I'm going to get the hash value of 3, 8, and I'm going to be able to look up on the blockchain that hash value to see if anyone lives there, and I'm going to find that you indeed own that location. So basically what I've done is, through computation done privately, I have lifted the cryptographic fog of war and found players and points of interest near me. Note that all of this stuff happens on my local machine. None of this is ever uploaded to the blockchain because this is all private state. So we talked a little bit about zero-knowledge proofs for state transitions earlier, and I want to dive a little bit into how that construction works in Dark Forest as well. The fundamental action that you can take in Dark Forest is essentially to move units from some secret planet A at some secret location to a planet B at some other secret location that's not known to the chain. So what this looks like is basically I'm going to say I want to move 100 forces from hash 1 to hash 2. How am I going to prove to the blockchain that I'm actually allowed to do that when the blockchain doesn't know anything about what the underlying coordinates are behind those hashes? Well, the input to the move function therefore is going to look something like, hash 1, hash 2, a claimed distance between them because, you pay some cost incurred based on the distance between the two planets you're moving from and to, and a zero-knowledge proof that's basically going to prove the validity of all of this. So concretely, the zero-knowledge proof is going to say, I know some secret coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2, such that the hash of x1, y1 is the first public address, the hash of x2, y2 is the second public address, and these two coordinates are at most this claimed distance apart. And again, this is important because the claimed distance is basically going to be, there's a rule set that governs how much I have to pay or how much time I have to wait in order to make a move of that amount of distance. So what is a ZK snark proof preventing? It's preventing people from basically saying, all right, I'm going to move from location A to location B. These locations are actually 1 unit away from each other, so this move should cost me no resources and should execute instantaneously, when in reality, the actual underlying coordinates are like halfway across the universe or something like that. So in this way, these ZK proofs are basically going to ensure the integrity of the game and making sure that all players are kept honest. Cool, so that's basically the backbone behind Dark Forest. Beyond this, we use a few other tricks to both introduce a sense of texture and complexity and richness into the world, and also to create a sense of real-timeness to the game. Within the constraints, of course, that the Ethereum world tick size is going to be that block mining time of about 10 to 15 seconds usually. So the first thing that we do is we have taken procedural generation algorithms and we have put them inside of ZK snarks. So what does this actually mean? Procedural generation algorithms are the algorithms used by games like Minecraft to generate rich and varied and infinite terrains without game developers or artists needing to actually make all of these things by hand. It turns out that the algorithm that kind of underlies most of the most commonly used procedural generation techniques is an algorithm called Perlin noise, which is entirely arithmetic operation, entirely linear operations. So think things like dot products, multiplications, scalar multiplications, additions, subtractions. Perlin noise is basically used to generate rich and varied textures. So in the context of Dark Forest, if we can put Perlin noise inside of a snark, we can create textured infinite worlds where basically there's features like, this big region of space is an ocean with very few planets. This is a choke point over here, and this is like a hub with a lot of very valuable or very powerful planets. And all of that is possible because we can take this Perlin noise algorithm and put it inside of a ZK snark. We also use a trick with lazy updating to simulate continuity. So obviously you can't schedule a cron job on the blockchain, but we'd like to make it so that if I initiate a move, it, say, arrives after some period of time. So we do a little bit of lazy updating trickiness in order to get that to all work consistently. But the end result is that, we're able to see planets grow according to like these S-curves. Moves appear to arrive at distant points in the future after they're executed, despite the fact that the blockchain can't execute, this kind of timeout function. And overall, there's some other tricks that are basically going into making this really have a sense of real-timeness. So that's pretty much it for Dark Forest. If you want to follow along the progress, we keep a blog up at blog.zkga.me, and again, the game itself is playable at zkga.me. We'll probably start running some public playtests pretty soon as well. We're on Twitter at darkforest_eth, and we're also on Telegram at zk_forest. Thanks so much.
My name is Carolin Wend, and I work at Mintbase. I'm super excited to be speaking here at EDCON. Thank you so much for having me. Today I'm going to speak about evolving economies, NFTs, and the Metaverse. So I will share my screen with you because I have a presentation. So, okay, let's share this presentation with you. So Mintbase, who are we? We are an NFT minting platform. I will first give you an overview, then I will dive into use cases of Mintbase and the Metaverse, and then I will actually go into our virtual headquarters in Decentraland and CryptoVoxels. So we are two people. It's Nate and myself building Mintbase, and we have become one of the most used marketplaces on the Ethereum network, and this is awesome. So just a little bit of background why we built this. So Nate worked few years for Nike and a company called Bumps, which is in the fintech sector, and he was always surprised about how complicated this financial system is, how you don't really own any shares in Web 2.0 in the normal days we live in. We don't really have any ownership. My background is a little bit different. I worked in politics. I was a blockchain researcher, and at one of the events I met Nate, and now I've been with Mintbase for over a year. I'm super excited about what we're building because I think it's really revolutionizing the way we do things on the internet. I think in the future everything will be tokenized, and the metaverses will play a massive role in this. So Mintbase, this is how our site looks like. We enable anyone to come onto our platform and create their own smart contract, which is a shop. It's like basically a Shopify on the blockchain, what we do. So the difference with us and other minting tools is that you, the shop creator, whenever you create a shop, you have your own unique verified smart contract. This is important because you have all the functions, you have access to your smart contract, and you can get listed on sites as StepRadar or nonfungible.com. So up to date, we have over, I think now it's over 760 unique stores that have been created on our platform, and they are very intentional because depending on the Ethereum gas fee, a creation of a shop can be anywhere between $2 and now $60-70. Yeah, so it's super exciting. We use many different technologies. So basically, we enable people to log on to our platform and make transactions with the wallet of their choice. They can use Argent, MetaMask, and other wallets. So use cases. NFTs. A few years ago, there used to be just a collectible that sits in your wallet. CryptoKitties, take CryptoKitties as an example. But now we see more use cases on our platform every day. So we have crypto artists who create NFTs on our platform and sell it. We have game items. We have more and more music that is being tokenized on our platform. We have people uploading files such as lease contract or marriage certificates in CryptoVoxels, different things. Again, another interesting use case is tickets. So we are actually selling tickets for San Francisco Blockchain Week, Korea, and Paris Blockchain Week. So NFTs are super wide, as you can see, and one NFT is holding more than just an image. we allow people to upload files such as MP3, MP4. So it's really, really diverse. So basically how our tech works is a user comes onto our platform, Mintbase. The contract is being created just a normal on the Ethereum blockchain, and then the NFT metadata, the sounds, the images are actually stored on the Arweave blockchain. That is awesome when you want to store your data for over 200 years. And it's immutable. You have a timestamp that comes with your data. It's a completely new technology, which is super important in times we live in, because fake news will not be an issue with this type of data storage anymore. As said, we use many different technologies, but since this talk is about NFTs and the metaverses, I will just dive into crypto voxels and Decentraland. So interoperability, that is basically the main thing that is to note here. So anyone who creates NFTs on our platform in form of ERC 721 can be put into a virtual world. The token itself is the API carrying all the data. So you can, for example, mint a token on Mintbase. Behind the scenes, it will automatically be put and published onto OpenSea as well. You don't need to do anything. So that is kind of the interoperability. Then you can put the token, maybe art, maybe a ticket, maybe music, into Metaverse, into Decentraland or crypto voxels. And this is awesome because it's kind of mushing the virtual world together with NFTs. And I think we are more and more moving into that direction. So we have people who exhibit the art in our headquarters. It's kind of like our shop or our tool to promote the artworks of our users. So when you mint a token on Mintbase, you actually also get promoted in different virtual worlds. And there's actually a lot of traffic coming through. People walking through those virtual worlds and looking at art and tickets and other things. So think about marketing in the internet age right now. Performance marketing, when you are on the search engine, Google or whatever, and you get those little click ads. This is completely the past. Nowadays, or in the future, or even it's already happening, the new world of marketing is an experience. So you have a virtual world where you can go to, you can listen to the music, you can walk around. It's basically like going shopping, but in a more discreet way. So before I jump into the our headquarters and those two worlds, what we did, or why we got many users back in December last year, is Mintbase. We did like an advent calendar. So an advent calendar is something which is in Europe, it's very common between the 1st and the 24th of December. Kids are super impatient because Santa Claus is coming soon and they don't want to wait for their presents. So they get like a little calendar, and every day, like 1st of December or the 5th of December, they can open a little door, and then there's a chocolate or a little toy inside the calendar, and this is meant to just shorten the wait until Christmas. So what we did is actually we replicated the same concept of an advent calendar in crypto voxels. So we needed 24 people, and we asked people or companies who are big in the NFT scene. So we asked Trust Wallet, Gnosis, Metacartel, Portis, crypto artists such as Max Osiris and also the platform Send, and many other partners, if they want to be on board with our little advent calendar. So they agreed to it, and every day we had little avatars coming into our virtual headquarters in Crypto Voxels, and we had a little riddle. Like, obviously, it's just one person per day, so we did some riddles like and then like underline and is on fire. So the roof is on fire. So people who figured it out, they flew like on top of the roof, and there was the NFT they could grab. So those kind of things worked super well. People loved the advent calendar. At some point we had over 50-60 people in Crypto Voxels. It was really great, and definitely got a lot of traction through that. So as said, we have so this here is our website, Mintbase. So it's super easy for people who are also not so familiar with crypto. You just press get started and go through the process. We also are on the rinkeby.mintbase.io network, but coming back to what I actually wanted to show is Crypto Voxels. So I just give you a quick tour. So Crypto Voxels is this virtual world on the Ethereum blockchain. Ben Nolan is the founder, and he built this all by himself. It's completely indie, and you need to buy NFT in order to buy land. So I'm actually the owner of this. Wait, I just enlarge this a little bit. So I'm actually the owner of this little parcel, and because I'm the owner, I can modify and I can build stuff. Like I can put up new artworks. Like this, for example, is a song that has been minted on our platform. You can put up the OpenSea link. You can put up other links as long as they are NFTs. So this is really awesome. Let me just close this. We regularly do parties in here. We also have companies like Gnosis, or we recently had DAO Records, who is a musician, who hosted a little party in our headquarters. So here you can sit down. As you can see, we also exhibit what we're selling right now. So we sell tickets for San Francisco Blockchain Week and other conferences. Over here is a little art gallery. And again, we have some music over here, so we can click on that and we can listen to this awesome mint tape. It's actually a song about Mintbase. The auction is about to begin. So that's really cool. Just do this. So this is our little virtual headquarters in Crypto Voxels. I will share the link with you, or come to mintbase.io. You can find us on Twitter, or just go to the website, and we have a link on our website. So feel free to just walk around. There's so much to do, so much to see. It's really an endless world in here. So that is Crypto Voxels. I'm super excited as well about Decentraland. So in Decentraland, this here is our headquarters. This is awesome. It's super big. It's it looks like a Berlin like building, and you can enter. So let's walk inside together. Just let me close this. And as you can see, we have so many artworks exhibited. We change the exhibition every 2 weeks, so people can come in here. We have launch parties. We even have like a little party sometimes where people come and we stream some music tapes and some DJ sets. So we like do many different things in the virtual world, and it's super important for us because it gives us a lot of traction, and actually it's also a lot of fun for them. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if you have any questions about this. If you want to see more in Decentraland on Crypto Voxels, I'm happy to guide you around. You can reach me on mintbase.io, just on the website, or you can come to Twitter and reach out to us anytime. This is totally the future. We will see more and more companies selling and doing marketing events in 3D worlds. So yeah, get familiar, like